broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
As the bikes rev up as we're getting ready for payback, and as we're still revving up, because we're still on a high over these last 7 days, all the interviews we've had here at AfterBuzz. We are here for you live on AfterBuzzTV.com on the YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. The link is right below my finger if you're watching. And you can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. Make sure you subscribe. Give us those 5 stars. And check us out with the hashtag ABTV SmackDown. Welcome, everybody. I'm Christian Rosenberg. You can follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. Joining me this week, as always, the lovely, the wonderful, the incredible, the stupendous even.
Whoa.
I like adjectives.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
At Kaori, it's Kaori Takee.
Hey, guys. I'm so glad to be here. We have so much to talk about. So much went down.
A lot has gone down in the last 7 days. A lot of interviews throughout the studio. We'll have a clip of it, what I did earlier this week a little later. But we had Chris Jericho in studio last week. We're still on a high from that.
Yeah, absolutely. He was great.
Him and Nick Mundy, the stars of the hit ComedyCentral.com web series, Nothing to Report. Hilarious. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The NXT crew earlier today interviewed Bayley.
Yep.
The Wrestling Compadres guys a couple days ago interviewed Alex Riley. Lots of good stuff happening here. And we got a lot to talk about with this week's SmackDown, as well as we got to do our payback predictions.
We do, and are we going to throw Mark into the predictions as well?
Absolutely. Mark Donica's engineering our show. That was some heavy breathing there.
It was throwing the horns, and it was devil.
Look, you want to get this done now so Rosie doesn't send you messages all weekend long.
I'm going to be emailing everyone anyway.
As long as you write it down, I'm down.
No, Mark, your picks will be in place tonight.
Yes.
As long as you give me picks.
Good.
All right. So, SmackDown gets ready to kick off. We're doing the usual musical entrance for SmackDown like they do every week, but all of a sudden it gets cut short for a Wyatt promo. He interrupts the opening sequence now.
Okay.
He has that much power.
He's a powerful man.
He is. He brings up Ryback, how last Monday Ryback, you stood toe-to-toe with me and won, but behind that muscle-made facade is an Achilles heel, and I'll prove that the Garden of Eden in you does not exist. And then blap.
Blap. Okay.
And then we're back to our regularly scheduled SmackDown. He just comes in and goes whenever he pleases now.
Yeah, I think this feud is kind of strange, but okay.
That's all we got.
I mean, but isn't that...
That's our show, ladies and gentlemen.
But isn't that how you feel every time Wyatt's been coming out? Like, he just comes out randomly, teases him a little and walks away.
We've been talking about the last few weeks as they've been kind of, making this feud go. It's just like, all right, where is this going? How is this working? And I think it might be this Sunday that we finally find out really why. Because he said a few things here or there, but it's just like, it's not really explaining why Ryback. But if he's talking about, like the Achilles heel, maybe something's going to happen on Sunday. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Ryback, but I just find it so strange that, Wyatt at WrestleMania, he had, the Undertaker and an amazing match, and then now he's got Ryback. It's just kind of a...
Well, he might be getting Harper and Rowan back, too, based on what was happening on Raw, which is quite intriguing.
Do you like the idea of them getting back together, of the band rejoining?
Part of me feels bad for Harper, because I feel he can have a huge push on his own, but on the other hand, the three of them together is just so good that I'm not opposing to it.
And I think maybe the WWE is responding to that feeling of, wow, that'd be nice to see them all back together.
Mark, what do you think about that?
I think we should see a little bit more of what was teased at the Royal Rumble, where Harper and Rowan started to attack Bray Wyatt. So maybe we'll see a 2-on-1 as opposed to all three coming back together, because they were left on their own. So what would be worse than having them come back to the nest just to burn it down?
I like that.
He always says good stuff.
Mark knows a thing or three.
Couple stuff sometimes.
I am a couple smart.
He's a couple smart. So then when SmackDown officially begins, it starts off with Dean Ambrose heading to the ring. And he mentions that he works alone, he fights alone, he drinks alone, he stands alone. And that's why he loved how Raw ended so much, because he was standing alone with all his other challengers for the Fatal 4-Way WWE World Heavyweight title laying. And he even hit dirty deeds on his only friend, Roman Reigns.
Sad.
But he knows why he did it.
Yeah.
And out comes Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It's like it was planned. It's crazy. They have a stare down, and Roman Reigns mentions no grudges whatsoever that you hit me with dirty deeds. But this Sunday, I'm bringing the big guns, and I hope you do the same.
And they will.
Oh, they will.
They will.
Oh, yes. I just got really, really demonic for a second.
Oh, yeah. A little Barry White in here, guys.
I got a little Barry. Well, I can't do Barry. I know my voice is low. That was like if Barry White was a soprano, Mark.
Don't even make me try to do that, because I will.
I think you should try now.
SmackDown!
SmackDown. Agreed.
So Reigns and Ambrose are about to shake hands out of respect. They are interrupted by Kane. Kane mentions that you should be less concerned about winning the Slammy for Bromance of the Year and more concerned about the Fatal 4-Way. What is it with Kane these last couple of weeks with these really cheesy zingers, from Justin Bieber to Bromance?
I've always felt that Kane was a little cheesy, but in the best way possible. So it's not really that far. Corporate Kane, come on.
Nah,
come on.
That's true. Ambrose brings up the fact that, hey, this could be the last time that Kane is the director of operations, because Triple H said on Raw, if Seth Rollins does not leave WWE World Heavyweight Champion on Sunday, Kane will no longer be director of operations. And later tonight, our main event, we already know that it's Kane versus Reigns, must be a winner match. But Kane announces that right now.
Did you just say must be a winner match?
Well, they just said it must be a winner. It's a no DQ match.
It just sounds silly, because obviously a match always has a winner.
Well, they say the only way to win this match is by pinfall or submission, aka a no disqualification match. But they call it the must be a winner match.
Well, sometimes.
And Kane announces that right now Dean Ambrose will be taking on Sheamus. So that's what we got. And these two, I mean, you can imagine these two with a hard-hitting match, and that's exactly what we got.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dean Ambrose.
And Sheamus. Especially evil Sheamus. I love evil Sheamus. I'm really become a big fan of evil Sheamus.
Because he's like your fellow ginger.
He might be like my tan brother.
Oh, there's no way. I think he's paler than you. I think he is.
But these guys had a really, really cool match to watch. And a really unique ending. Sheamus is lifting him up to almost do a power slam from the second rope. Ambrose gets out of it. That's the word. Gets out of it, and then trips Sheamus when his feet are on the second rope, and Sheamus's face bangs into the ring post.
Ooh.
Which then obviously Sheamus is stunned. Schoolboy roll up by Ambrose, and Ambrose gets the win and builds momentum headed in to his main event match this Sunday. However, I feel that it's bad for Sheamus to lose a match clean, because he has a match on Sunday too against Ziggler.
Yeah.
And there was no Ziggler tonight, come to think of it.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see how it unfolds on Sunday.
I guess we shall.
And it probably adds to your predictions coming up.
It just might. Kane is backstage with Rollins, and pretty much Rollins is talking about, you need to know you must know what the right thing to do is. And Kane said he might not know what the right thing to do is until Sunday when he's standing ringside during that Fatal 4-Way match. And, foreshadowing maybe something might happen. And then he lets Rollins know he's wrestling Ryback tonight.
Okay.
Surprise.
Not really, right?
Well, he wasn't expecting it.
All right. Gotta throw Ryback in there somewhere, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, if Bray Wyatt had to interrupt the opening vignette,
exactly,
then we need some Ryback this week.
Feed me more.
Feed me more Ryback.
By the way, you guys, he did not know that the song was Meat on the Table. I don't know why I know that.
Who was just singing it? Was it last week?
It was me.
Was you that was screaming
I was singing it, and you're like, what are you saying?
I don't listen to the lyrics of the song. I just listen to the beat.
Then you're missing the heart of the whole thing.
See? Mark knows what's up.
All right, Mark, sing the Ryback theme in Barry White music.
Oh, no. Let's not do this.
No.
Well done.
I'll do it as Pavarotti, but not that.
How about Pavarotti? Let's do Pavarotti then.
Oh, my gosh.
We got a huge show to get to and not a lot of time. And you got predictions to do, too, so I'm not going to take any of your time. I can talk slower.
Oh, Mark.
I'm trying.
You ruined all the fun.
You're bothering me at work, man.
Rusev and Lana in the ring, and I actually really enjoyed this. All of a sudden, Lana has a prepared statement.
Okay.
Apologizing to the Russian Federation, the countrymen, and Rusev for indulging herself in the Western civilization customs of panning to the cheers. And she apologizes, and then Rusev hands her the Russian flag and tells her to stand in the corner. And then Rusev cuts a promo pretty much saying he's going to make Cena say I quit on Sunday.
I don't know how I feel about where this is going.
Well, I mean, and then Jericho said it best last week when he was talking about, okay, so what's going to happen to Rusev when he loses the big thing that got him over?
Right.
And that's the $1 million question right now.
Well, they're really obviously focused on Lana and her growth in the company, so...
Unless this is some great swerve and somehow Rusev is going to beat Cena on Sunday thanks to Lana, which would be brilliant. I don't see that happening. But if they were to pull that, that's the only thing that could help this. Otherwise, if Lana goes on her own, she's going to do fantastic on her own. There's no doubt about that. I'm afraid Rusev is going to turn into Vladimir Kozlov and end up teaming with Santino.
Oh, that would be so tragic.
Like something along those lines. So that's what I'm afraid of for him because he's so much better than that. But he's relied so much on Lana up to this point in his career as far as with this character that all of a sudden if you remove her, I don't know what they could possibly do with him.
Well, not only just him, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna decide to do with her as well. I read rumors that they're gonna twist it and make her have an American accent. But
if she all of a sudden walked out with like a Texas accent, it'd just be weird. But it's eventually going to... I mean, Kofi once upon a time had a Jamaican accent.
Yeah, and it just disappeared.
It just vanished.
But there was no indication or no word of why that happened. It just happened. It was like, let's just do this.
There's a great way to flip it, though. There's a 100% great way to flip it.
How?
I mentioned this on Raw a couple weeks ago. If they make it so that Lana is discovered to be a double agent from America who had been undercover in the Russian Federation, then that's an easy way. They can drop the whole Russian gimmick, and she goes back to who... If they want to book her as CJ, which is her real name, but that can be a way to make it really silly and story-wise and totally retcon the whole Russian thing.
It's already pretty silly, but in a good way. But would she be heel or face?
Oh, there should definitely be a face then.
They're working on her to be the new face, the female face of the country.
They want her to be like the big diva, like good guy diva.
Right. But she's not a wrestler, right? She's just a...
I mean, I'm sure she's been training.
Oh, yeah?
So, I mean, who knows how she is? Right. I mean, we haven't seen her on TV wrestle ever.
She should be on Tough Enough.
She's already tough enough.
I know, I'm just kidding.
You know who should be on Tough Enough?
Me.
Hobo. Hashtag Hobo is tough enough.
Yeah, why not?
Share his YouTube video. That's the end of that.
That's so
That's
kind
all we
of
need.
you.
Yeah. Hobo is tough enough. Hashtag it. Rollins versus Ryback. Ryback heading to the... Oh, before Ryback heads to the ring, Rollins on the mic talking about how what happened to him on Raw wouldn't be the last time you see anything like that because I'm going to win. I have my security. I have Kane by my side, blah, 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 blah. Ryback interrupts. But as Ryback heads to the ring, he gets cut off by Wyatt. Wyatt is just hiding there the entire time.
He's out to get him.
And lays him out. We cut to commercial. Ryback... ignoring doctor's orders and still wants to continue on with the match. So obviously, for the most part, Seth Rollins dominates this match because Ryback is hurt. 2 super kicks by Rollins for the win. We keep alternating what he's using as his finishing move now.
Yeah. Because they're both nice.
Well, we had DDT, we have the curb stomp, we have the super kicks. I find it really interesting also on the Roman Reigns special on the network, they did not show Reigns taking the curb stomp, but showed him getting pinned.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, they had Rollins line up for it, then they shot to the audience, and then they had the pinfall.
Maybe they edited something in there.
I don't know.
It's possible.
But Rollins wins, celebrates. That's pretty much that match. Renee backstage with Naomi and Tamina. I loved this promo. Like, I want more diva promos like this one. They're great. Pretty much, Naomi and Tamina both talked about they're tired of being overlooked. Naomi, I'm the best athlete in the Divas division. I've been here for years. What have I gotten? Nothing. Tamina is a powerhouse. What has she gotten in all her years in the WWE? Nothing. Opportunities aren't given to divas like us, so we're taking it.
There's so much truth to that, too.
Right.
And and it's nice to see Naomi shine and also be able to cut these promos and everything, because we're finally letting her, get more airtime than she usually does, and she's being successful at it.
Yeah. And then Naomi took a shot at Brie, saying that Brie is a quitter just like her husband. And then mentions, sometimes a good girl has to be bad to get things done.
It's kind of true.
Is it?
It is.
Is it, Kaori?
I think so.
Do you have to be bad sometimes to get things done?
Yes.
Care to elaborate?
That's all. No.
All right.
You started going down the Barry White track, and I'm like, let's stop right there.
Do you want me to stop?
No, yes, let's go.
Okay. Then we get into Kofi Kingston versus Tyson Kidd. But before we break down this match, one thing that I know we've talked about off and on in the show for a while is whenever name changes happen. For example, Cesaro dropped Antonio.
Yes.
Neville, once he came in the roster, dropped Adrian. Rusev dropped Alexander. And Big E dropped Langston.
What about Barrett? Now he's King Barrett.
And he's King Barrett right now. So whenever that King of the Ring thing ends, he'll probably get Wade back. Or no, not necessarily, because he's been Bad News Barrett.
Yes.
So, I mean, so a lot of them are happening. So this past Tuesday, I got a chance to chat with Big E. I got to have a phone interview with him. And I asked him, hey, so how does it work? Like, what was the process when you found out you lost part of your name? And I think we're going to roll that clip right now.
I'm not sure exactly what happened. It's a time ago for some people. But for me, honestly, it's a matter of showing up to work one day and then being told, hey, actually by one of the guys who used to run social media at WWE, and so you show up and say, hey, so you're Big E now, right? And no longer Big E Langston. You have to change your Twitter handle and whatnot. So that's it's one of those things. Sometimes it's not as collaborative. You just show up and your name's different. But for me, the word I got was that Vince thought Big E sounded more powerful, without the last name. So you show up, and sometimes in what we do, there's a debate or discussion, or you just have more say so. And it's a little more hands-on. And in this instance, for me, it was showing up, and this is who you are now. So you deal with it.
Yeah, fair enough. And so you can listen to the entire interview. It's up on our AfterBuzz SmackDown YouTube page. It's also on the iTunes page. Make sure you check it out. Like I was also saying, just earlier today for the NXT AfterBuzz, they got a chance to interview Bayley. Mark, how'd that go?
It went beyond as well as it could have. We got about 15 minutes with her, which when you get a superstar of that caliber, and you could always you get what you can. We asked a lot of great questions about starting out in Shimmer and how working in an all women's wrestling company affected her style, and she really came through with a lot of passion. She talks a lot about Sarah Del Rey. She previews what she feels about TakeOver next week. It's a really good interview. It's live now. We recorded this morning, and next week, if you tune in live to the NXT After Show, we might be able to reveal who we're getting next.
What?
Nice. I'm loving the slew of guests you guys got.
You're telling me
we're getting guests. NXT's getting guests. We're getting guests. The Wrestling Compadres, like I said earlier this week, they had an interview with Alex Riley.
Yep.
So lots of great stuff. Make sure you guys check out all of those shows on YouTube, on iTunes, and SoundCloud, etc.
I want to check out the Biggie interview to see if the entrance music was Biggie, Biggie, Biggie.
Oh no, I played New Day's music.
Oh.
Spoiler alert. I played New Day's music. I talked to him about forming it, and I love. Well, no, I love because we talked about it was like Kirk Franklin music, and he mentioned on it. He's like, actually, we got the idea from Kirk Franklin.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
No wonder there was the chime when you listen to that music.
That's right. As New Day comes out tonight, as Kofi's going to take on Tyson Kidd, Xavier Woods mentions that we're giving Tyson Kidd and Cesaro a second chance at these titles. He mentions that Cesaro and Kidd, they're not good people because they don't recycle, they double dip, and when they buy a movie ticket, they sneak into another one. How dare they?
That sounds like some things that I would do.
So, like Naomi mentioned earlier, sometimes you got to be a little bad to get what you want. So your definition of bad is double dipping and sneaking into a second movie without paying for it.
With Cesaro, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds ideal.
Wouldn't that make him a cheap date?
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Well, would we want to go back outside and get paid on a ticket? No.
She wants more time in the dark with Cesaro.
Gross. That was gross.
During the match, Big E hops on the apron and distracts Tyson Kidd. Cesaro takes him out, and then Xavier Woods hops on the apron. Natalya grabs his foot. Kidd kicks him, and then Kofi tries to roll him up, but Kidd counters into a sharpshooter, makes Kofi tap. Tyson Kidd gets the win. Momentum for the challengers head into this Sunday.
Nice.
And then, even though we have a pay-per-view this Sunday, WWE, for the month of May, since it's free for subscribers, just like it was for April, and just like it was like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
By the way, hey, WWE, how about for the people who have paid for a subscription since day one? How about they get a free month? Huh?
Someone's angry up here a little bit.
Literally, the network's been out for like 16 months, and I feel like at least 6 of those months have been offered for free for new subscribers.
There were 4.
Only 4?
Yeah.
I swear it's been
these
more.
last 2 months in a row, April was free and May was free, which is a little ridiculous.
Right. But yeah, what about the people that have paid from day one? How about we get some love?
Can I get a shirt or something?
Yeah, even a shirt. Why not?
All right, I mean, this is not the place to be upset, but...
Not the place to want a double date or a date with Cesaro where you sneak
Your
into
joke
other
was
movies.
almost good. It was almost good.
I messed up.
But we find out, besides this pay-per-view this Sunday, they announced on Raw, May 31st, the end of the month, the Elimination Chamber is back.
I'm excited about it. I'm not going to lie.
And here's the unique twist. At least they haven't announced it yet. They do not have plans for the WWE World Heavyweight title to be defended in said Elimination Chamber.
They announced what 2 of the matches were in the chamber.
Yes, they announced for the vacant Intercontinental title, since Daniel Bryan had to drop it due to injury. So now, to my knowledge, and chat roll, correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels are the only 2 people to have had surrender the Intercontinental and WWE title.
Sad.
So he's never lost the title to anyone. So they're going to have it for the vacant title. Most likely you'll have guys like Barrett, Neville, Sheamus, Ziggler, and who else knows the other 2.
Bo Dallas.
I would love if Bo Dallas was in there. And
Yeah, you really like him.
he's up next. And then along with that, though, they're planning on the tag titles to be defended. So here the question is, will they have 3 teams and, so for the 6 pods, each individual in there, or are they going to put a pair in each pod.
That's what I want.
And it'd just be complete chaos.
That's going to be insane.
So if one guy in the team gets pinned, then that team's eliminated, and you can have up to 12 people in the chamber at once. That would be insane. Please do that.
That sounds magical.
I'm afraid for their safety, but please do that, because that'd be amazing to watch.
I just want to see Harper and Rowan stuck in a chamber together.
Oh, God. Can you imagine the smell? If they're
gross.
if they're the last ones to come out, and they've got to sit in those lights and that...
Why are you making me picture all this right now and smell it?
You made me picture you going around with Cesaro.
You asked me.
I didn't. Oh,
That's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry.
But obviously, more details on that in the weeks to come, and I'm really excited for it. But I was also really excited because Bo Dallas got time on SmackDown tonight, and he mentioned that this is his opportunity to be there for all of you, since everyone is so sad about Daniel Bryan having to leave and drop the title. And he goes over the 5 stages of grief with Daniel Bryan leaving with the crowd.
So did you like every moment of this?
I loved every second of it.
I felt like you did.
I need more Bo Dallas in my life because he's so motivating.
Is he your Cesaro?
He's inspiring. Alicia Fox is my Cesaro.
Okay.
And actually, Becky Lynch is right behind her in NXT. But Bo Dallas Mark's right. Put him in the chamber. Give him a shot at the Intercontinental title.
Who would you want to pod team him with?
Well, it'd be for the Intercontinental title. He'd be in a pod by himself.
No, but yeah. I'm just imagining him in a pod with somebody.
Interesting.
My mind wanders.
It does. Bo Dallas versus Neville. So he ended up taking on Neville. We have an NXT reunion on SmackDown, which was cool. King Barrett on commentary. Real fun match. Neville wins with the red arrow. And then Barrett hops on the announce table. Normally, I'm all for what Barrett says on a microphone.
But?
He kind of missed the ball tonight.
Why?
Because Barrett mentions that he doesn't have time to deal with a mere peasant like Neville, and then mentions that he's going to beat him on Sunday. So why would you say you don't have time for him, but then clarify that you are still going to spend time with him?
Okay, you're thinking way too much here. In King Barrett's defense, obviously he's saying, I don't have time for peasants, but I have to do this, so boom. There it is.
I don't know. This one, he normally wins me over. We know this.
Don't mess with my King Barrett. He's my other Cesaro. I have a couple.
Wow, so you just call King Barrett your other Cesaro. Barrett, I hope you're listening to this. And you should be heartbroken right now.
You need to talk to somebody, Kaori. You just need some time.
It's probably true.
Your House Barrett.
That's the fact. I am House Barrett.
Now, here's an interesting thing that we need to talk about.
Yes.
When this segment ends, we are backstage with Adam Rose and Rosa, who, by the way, since she dropped the Fandango outfits, looks hot as hell. When she's just dressing, like her hair's just straight and she's dressing more like a normal person.
You should just watch more Total Divas then.
I should watch more Total Divas.
Dressing like a normal person, hello.
Yeah. So they're busy kind of just like making out in the corner. All of a sudden, she stops and she's like, the hot dog is watching us again. Just that line is just hilarious to think about because you know it's a guy dressed as a freaking hot dog.
It's so weird.
So all of a sudden, the camera pans. Sure enough, it's the Rosebuds being led by a hot dog. And Rose mentions, hot dog, get out of here. And the hot dog completely breaks character.
Oh, no.
All of a sudden, it's intentional, but he's like, well, first off, my name is Carl. And second, we're all wondering, when are we getting paid?
Okay.
I'm like, interesting. Adam Rose grabs him by the buns. But like the hot dog bun.
I get it.
Hey, puns.
I get it.
And throws him down.
I bet you were waiting for a whole hour to
I wrote it out. No, I'm kidding. And he mentions that you're all just like the bunny, and threw Carl to the ground. All the Rosebuds are wondering what's going on, and Rose says, "You know what? The party is officially over."
Why?
And then Rosa says, "No, the party's about to begin." And then they start making out some more. And Kane happens to walk by because he has to get to the ring for his match. And he looks in disgust. So
I don't blame him.
So is this saying, because also this past week on NXT, Adam Rose walked to the ring and there were no Rosebuds. He just says the party is over.
Does that make you sad?
I'm trying to figure out if this means no more rosebuds.
Doesn't mean you can have rosebuds again.
I might have to wait a few weeks.
A little bit longer than that. Don't get too excited.
It's interesting though, because don't get me wrong, I enjoy Adam Rose.
Yeah,
I've said it many times. I'm a fan of Adam Rose. I wish he got more airtime. I'm intrigued by whatever they're doing with him and Rosa. I am confused as to him suddenly getting rid of all the rosebuds, if that's what's going on.
Well, I guess we'll find out. He reminds me of Russell Brand so much.
That's what the character is based on.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, I mean, yeah, on the we never even got a chance because Jericho was here last week. The E60 special when they did all that stuff was phenomenal, and they talked about it was like a Russell Brand-esque character.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens
with that E60 and everybody getting a chance to see the man behind Adam Rose.
Everyone's become a huge fan of him.
Yes, and to continue down this heel place when everybody sees how much of a family man it is, and he's got another kid on the way, doesn't make a lick of sense. They're not taking advantage of any of the press that they got from E60, seemingly, other than on Twitter. Because now, like, all of the fun parts about him, all the parts that made him, at least starting at NXT and when he first got there, they didn't believe in the gimmick enough when he got to the main roster, and that's why they felt the need to change it. When they didn't have to do anything, they just needed to give him time.
And then the one thing, and we've seen this before, especially since Total Divas began, we just saw this very touching piece about him and his wife and his kids, and now he's on TV making out with Rosa Mendez. So it's just like, we know he's married, so why is he making out with this girl and claiming it's his girlfriend?
We know there's a...
I mean, we know it's the character.
Yes.
And they're kind of, hence going behind the curtain, and they're kind of, saying, "Oh, this is him. This is his character," and I get that. But we just saw this touching thing with him and his wife, and now he's making out with a diva.
Well, we have to pretend that touching moment didn't happen. I mean,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
It happened, and was highly commended all over social media, all over ESPN. So I don't know. Main event: Kane versus Reigns in a must-be-a-winner match.
Sounds weird.
It was a good, good match for what it was. We have our kendo sticks, we have our stairs, we have our tables. Kane chokeslammed Reigns through a table, but he kicked out. Eventually, Reigns spears Kane through a table, gets the win. And then, though, we think the show would just end with that. But then we go backstage when they're Young and Seth Rollins. Rollins talking about that, it's going to take a whole lot more than what you just saw Reigns do to take my title. Ambrose sneaks up behind him with a plate of cookies, asks the guys if they want a cookie, and throws them at him, and then they start fighting. Reigns makes his way to the back, helps fight him off. Reigns and Ambrose standing tall, and then they both look down, and in between their feet is a WWE title. Reigns reaches out his hand to shake for Ambrose like they did at the beginning of the night. Ambrose instead bends down, picks up the title, looks at it, and puts it on Reigns' shoulder. But then says, "Don't worry, I'll take it on Sunday," and walks away. I really like the ending.
That's a very Ambrose thing to do.
Yeah, I really liked the way it ended. It was a good go-home moment for the main event of the pay-per-view this Sunday.
I like this Ambrose Reigns thing going on.
Well, yeah, we'll see how it gets.
And Reigns is really good too now. Like, all over. Well, I like him anyway, but...
What?
I mean, he's just like, the crowd is finally behind him. I'm thinking I'm getting that, people are now okay with where they're taking him. They're doing it right.
I agree.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Let's get into our predictions.
Okay.
Prediction time. This Sunday on the WWE Network, we got Payback. And, of course, we will be doing a Payback AFTERBUZZ here, so you guys can watch that live and download it, etc., etc. Pre-show kickoff match, tag team action, The Ascension. Remember them?
Unfortunately.
Don't say that.
Well, I mean, they deserve more, but they
dropped the shoulder pads.
They drop the face paint, and then we'll talk.
Fair.
The Ascension is taking on the new mega powers of Curtis Axel and Macho Mandow.
The meta powers.
The meta powers.
I'm digging this Mandow thing.
I'm not.
No.
No.
I think I'm digging Axel and Mandow more than the Ascension. I'm sorry. That being said, I will go with Macho Mandow and Axel.
I think Axel and Mandow are going to win this match as well. I'm just so terrified for Sandow.
You kind of liked Axel? Or you like Axel?
Well, we love him now.
No
Everyone loves him now.
idea what you're talking about.
I'm talking about...
Yes.
Oh, God.
There it is.
All right, well...
So both of us are saying Axel and Mandow. Mark, who do you got?
Axel and Mandow, just because they want them over for some reason.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Ascension.
They could very well. Well, that's the thing. They might put Axel and Mandow in that tag team chamber match instead of the Ascension.
Very possible.
They need the Ascension. If they do stuff everybody in, they need the Ascension there too.
I agree with you, but the Ascension needs to start winning some matches.
I like how you said stuff everyone in. It just sounds funny.
What it is.
Well, they're throwing 12 guys in there.
It's great.
If they
do
throw
that.
12 guys into there. But yeah, really quick, I wanted to mention in chat, Tina Keys commented the meh powers.
That's funny. King Barrett versus Neville. King Barrett is the king of the ring.
You know who I'm going to pick.
Neville beat him on the kickoff of the last pay-per-view.
I think Barrett's going to get it. What is that? Did you roll your eyes at...
No, I didn't roll my eyes at you.
All right, good.
I feel like this should have been a huge thing, giving him King of the Ring, and should be a complete clear direction of where they're going with him. And I haven't seen it yet. I'm picking Neville.
But the thing is, like, if he loses this pay-per-view to a rookie, quote-unquote, it just doesn't look good.
He just got pinned last week on SmackDown.
That's what I'm saying.
So it already doesn't look good.
But could you imagine him losing this Sunday, too? That's what I'm thinking. He
can't lose on Sunday. He's going to win.
I don't know. I think they're going to have Neville win.
I think they're going to build him up to a really high height to make him earn the kingship, and then when the Intercontinental Championship comes around, he's going to lose.
Perhaps.
It seems like the kingship was a way to forego him having to win the Intercontinental Championship, despite how rushed it was.
Yeah. Ziggler versus Sheamus, rematch from Extreme Rules. Ziggler won it last time. I do not think he will win it this time. Sheamus wins.
I also think Sheamus is going to win.
Shamus.
Everyone says, was that Shamu?
Shamus.
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 Now, I was all ready for Naomi versus Nikki Bella, but it's not that. It's the Bellas versus Naomi and Tamina.
Because that would be the smart thing to do.
Which is even better to me. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, but it's another pay-per-view without the Divas title defended.
That is frustrating.
In a world where, I don't know if you guys knew.
In a world.
In a world.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Tonight, there was NXT Philly, which was the first of two Philadelphia shows.
Yes, I heard about this.
And do you know the match that main evented the show?
The match that closed the show was Charlotte and Sasha.
Charlotte and Sasha Banks.
Beautiful.
So in that world, how can we not have a Divas Championship match again?
Thank you. Well said.
Yeah.
I just find it frustrating that Nikki's not defending that title. She's had it for almost 200
Too
days.
long.
Yeah.
Has it really been that long already?
It's almost there. I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Chat roll.
Somebody in chat said that it was 174 days.
See?
Wow.
See?
I had no idea it was already 6 months.
And it's not like she's defending it often.
No. She is not.
It's like, really? That's what the Divas Championship is going to entail? Like,
She
just being that.
did not defend it at Mania. She defended it at Extreme Rules and is not defending it.
And not to defend it at
Payback.
Mania, at least for me, that's blasphemous.
I agree.
Anyway, see, I just get heated when it comes to that.
So who are you
division.
picking to win this match?
You know what? Because it's a non-title match, Naomi's going to win.
See, I feel like this is one of the rarities where this is going to be an exception to that rule.
Okay.
Because the last several weeks, Naomi and Tamina have destroyed the Bellas.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel being that the title's not on the line, I feel somehow one of them, some miscommunication of butt heads or something like that, and the Bellas are going to steal one. Mark?
I say I'm going to say the Bellas. Actually, no, I disagree. No. I'm going to say Tamina and Naomi because that can lead to a Divas Championship match at Elimination Chamber because it's so quick. It can finally be a thing where Naomi, quote unquote, earns the right. Maybe she'll pin Brie and still be like, no, I won the match and I deserve a thing because that's a heel thing to do. Like maybe something fun like that. But that way we can. I don't like how they're exchanging no match title match, no match title match, but I think it can lead to a good match at Elimination Chamber.
And raise your hand if you would like to see a Diva Elimination Chamber match.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
Hands are up.
You know where I want to do that.
Hands are up. Because you could throw the 4 of them plus 2 others. Paige, and then maybe,
if she's back from shooting.
And then maybe that's the time you bring Charlotte up.
There's enough Divas.
I mean, and there's already enough on the roster, too.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. I mean, will they do that? No. But it's an idea. 2 out of 3 falls for the tag titles. New Day versus Cesaro and Kid. I don't think they could stop New Day now. This has been too good. I'm saying New Day wins.
You know what?
They're going to cheat, but they're going to win.
I agree with you. Is the problem is I think that they're going to let New Day win. But I'm going with my heart.
Oh, God.
What?
You're not going to win the title by always going with your heart.
I have
this is coming from the guy who hasn't won in a year and a half.
I have 5 times, thank you.
It's not about the title, it's about love.
I'm going to go with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd and hot-ass Natalya on the side.
All right. Mark?
New Day?
Yeah.
Rocks.
I really feel like I chose wrong there, but let's keep going.
I quit match. Cena versus Rusev. Are we all in agreement Cena's winning this match?
Yeah.
All right.
I think the fans are going to win, Christian, but Cena will win.
Okay. Cena wins that. Ryback versus Wyatt. Are we all in agreement that Wyatt's going to win this match?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And finally, Fatal 4-Way for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Seth Rollins defends against Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Randy Orton.
I like this. I like this a lot.
I honestly feel, now that the Chamber match has been announced this quickly, I can see Rollins lose the title. Except for the fact that Ambrose has been dominating the last week. Because he was the guy I was thinking could be the one, even if it was just like a 3-week reign. And then Rollins won it back. But he's been too dominant since he got announced to be in this match. So I don't think they're going to let Ambrose win it.
So who do you think is going to win then?
I feel now, based on these last couple weeks with Ambrose, Reigns and Orton have been doing their usual thing. They're not going to give it to Reigns yet. It's got to be a big moment for Reigns. Orton could get it, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think Rollins is going to retain. And then on Raw, Kane quits, quote unquote, as director of operations. And then at Elimination Chamber, since that one will most likely not be a Chamber match, you'll have Rollins versus defends against Kane.
You're talking about Raw.
On Elimination Chamber.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But the Intercontinental title match will main event the Chamber because it's a Chamber match. And Rollins Kane will go semi.
You far exceeded our predictions, you just went all the way to Elimination Chamber.
I did. I look down the road, and this is why I lose this all the time.
We can just lock that prediction right now.
Do it.
So
we're locking it right now. Rollins wins. Rollins versus Kane at Elimination Chamber, and Rollins will win that. I'll just predict that now, too. Why not? Who are you picking for the 4-way?
You're marvelous.
Thank you.
I'm going to say Rollins.
Mark?
My sentiments, exactly.
Rollins.
Grudgingly, we all said Rollins in that one.
Well, they're not going to take it away from him. This is supposed to be like the power trip thing. And there's one of the big rumors on the webternet, don't believe rumors, is that this whole thing was a way to possibly bring the Shield back together.
No.
Oh, no.
I disagree, too. No. Because, to be honest, though, at Extreme Rules, before the end of Extreme Rules, they showed the videos for Payback were already released, and all of the the clips were of a 3-way match, like alluding to a 3-way match between Orton, Reigns, and Rollins. And then at the last minute, they add Ambrose into it. Maybe they just didn't have a place for him and were like, screw it, let's just have an awesome match between the four of them. Who knows? It's all conjecture and internet wrestling websites, which, are kind of not to be trusted. Except the ones that report our news.
That's right. Except the ones that
Just
talk
true.
about our interviews.
Just true.
Those are the great
We
ones.
are real.
So those are our picks. We will tweet out all of the AfterBuzz host picks because Dale had to pull a Daniel Bryan and drop the title because he moved.
I know.
Thankfully, Dale's fine, and he's doing great in his new place. But he had to drop the title because he moved. So we'll have a new predictions champion this Sunday, and you can check out the AfterBuzz for that on Sunday. But in the meantime, Kaori, how can people reach out to you?
Look, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything at Kaorious. That's Kaorious. And thank you for tuning in.
All right, Mark, how can people reach out to you?
You can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. You can find, we recorded a podcast today with Kathy Kelly. It was myself, my friend Brandon Taylor, who's trying out for Tough Enough, hashtag Hobo is Tough Enough, and at the Gimmick Pod. It was a wonderful podcast. It's a post-show to the post-show of NXT. We interviewed Bayley today. We talked about it earlier in the show. So just after the show's over, go up to AfterBuzz, look up the Bayley interview, look up the Biggie interview that Christian did on Tuesday. We got all the interviews coming.
Lots of interviews coming. Watch them all. Listen to them all. You can follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, on Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I will be in Palm Desert. Alpha Omega Wrestling presents Pride of the Ring, our annual 2-day event. I'm the owner there, so it's going to be a great show because I'm in charge of it. Also, this Tuesday, I'll be performing at Playhouse West in North Hollywood. Tweet me for details on that. And like Mark said, check out those interviews that we have, and hashtag Hobo is Tough Enough. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For Mark Donica and Corey Takee, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.